And here in the United States, President Joe Biden has announced one of the biggest reforms in recent history to fast-track the process of U.S. citizenship for undocumented immigrants. The latest expansive action aims to provide permanent residency to at least 500,000 undocumented immigrants who are married to American citizens. The move will benefit couples where the spouse is an undocumented citizen but has been living in the United States for 10 years or more.
My dad used to have an expression. He said, Joey, family's about the beginning, middle, and the end. About keeping couples together who are married, where one spouse is a U.S. citizen, the other is undocumented. They've been living in the United States for at least 10 years. These couples have been raising families, sending their kids to church and school, paying taxes, contributing to our country for 10 years or more. Matter of fact, the average time they've spent here is 23 years, people who are affected today. But living in the United States all this time with fear and uncertainty. We can fix that, and that's what I'm going to do today. Fix it.
Now, along with spouses, at least 50,000 children under the age of 21 whose parent is a U.S. citizen will also benefit from the program. However, President Biden says that every beneficiary will have to pass a background check before they're given citizenship.
Requires them to pass a criminal background check, and it doesn't apply to anyone trying to come here today. It only applies, this action is a better way. It doesn't tear families apart while requiring every undocumented spouse to fulfill their obligations under the law.
Now, there is no requirement on how long a couple must be married as long as the undocumented spouse has been living in the country for the last 10 years before the 17th of June this year. Once the application is approved, the qualifying immigrant would have 3 years to apply for a green card or receive a temporary work permit to avoid deportation. Senior officials in the Biden administration say applications will open this summer. However, the fees for the process is yet to be determined. The election year move is in stark contrast to President Biden's rival, Donald Trump, who is threatening immigrants with mass deportations. In fact, President Biden's immigration legalization plan reinforces his campaign's message that Democrats support a much more people-friendly immigration system.
These are the fears my predecessor is trying to play on when he says immigrants, and his words are poison the blood of the country. When he calls immigrants, in his words, animals. When he was president, he separated families and children at the border. And now he's proposing to rip spouses and children from their families and homes and communities and place them in detention camps. Folks, I'm not interested in playing politics with the border or immigration. I'm interested in fixing it.
President Biden's program will also allow the spouses and children to apply for citizenship without having to leave the United States, saving them from the lengthy immigration process and even possible family separation. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.